It's Nolan. What's going on, y'all? It's the kid J Nolan here. You know we had to talk about it, y'all. Y'all already know what we here for. Let's not waste no time. Y'all know Diddy has been under some intense investigation for the past 2 weeks. We really don't even got to go into the investigations. Everybody said everything that could possibly be mentioned about Diddy, right? There's so many stories from Cassie to his ex-girlfriend. People are speculating what happened to Albie Shore. People are speculating what happened to his ex-wife, Kim Porter. There's the other lady, Joy, from the early 90s who came out and said that she was mishandled, right? Then we got another lady that came out from the same era, like 1991, talking about he mishandled her. Then she was forced to stay in the room and let Aaron Hall do whatever he wanted to do to her, right? We already know all these facts, but what we have on the table today is that Diddy has actually stepped down as the chairman of Revolt TV. Now, this is something I was not expecting. After he got away with the Cassie thing, they settled, they made things, whatever they did, made things right, gave up some money. She goes home, goes back to her life. I thought, okay, he finna come out here and, get the jigging on us again, right? They had some photos and videos of him looking like he was distraught, had his head down, looking like the world was crashing in on him. I don't know, y'all. This dude done stepped down from his biggest asset right now. Revolt TV is not the biggest money maker, but this is an investment that he made years ago. It's been going on, right? They've been keeping it active. They got all these different podcasts and shows that are under Revolt now, and he's actually stepping away to say, hey, I don't want my name, I don't want my presence or my new reputation to bring down what we created with this company. Again, although there has been no admission of guilt, the way he's moving right now, it kind of looks like clear some guilt. Let's get into the statement that they released through Revolt on their Instagram page just to solidify it. Boom. They made graphics for this shit, y'all. Diddy steps down as chairman of Revolt. Sean Combs has stepped down. While Mr. Combs has previously had no operational or day-to-day role in the business, this decision helps to ensure that Revolt remains steadfastly focused on our mission to create meaningful content for the culture and amplify the voices of all Black people throughout this country and the African diaspora. Interesting statements. Our focus has always been one that reflects our commitment to the collective journey of Revolt, one that is not driven by any individual, but by the shared efforts and values of our entire team on behalf of advancing, elevating, and championing our culture, and that continues. And he looks off into the distance because he's stepping down as chairman. That doesn't mean he's stepping down as the owner, right? I think he co-owns it with a young man. So whatever success continues to come in from this company, he's still going to cash in the banks. He already didn't have an operational day-to-day purpose at the company. He was overseeing, right? He was giving his ideas, giving his input, telling them what he liked and what he wanted, but he wasn't making sure everything happened. He could probably leverage his relationships and whatnot, to make the process easier for his staff. But they're saying this ship is going to continue to run whether or not Diddy is involved. Very interesting to me. Now, it was literally just a few days ago that Miss Dawn Montgomery, who actually worked at Revolt, she just stepped down from her position and her podcast with the company because she was so distraught. She could not believe what had come out, and she said she could no longer be affiliated with the company or anyone such as Diddy, right, who was accused of such heinous crimes. Let's get into what she had to say. FYI, I won't be signing on to do the third season of Revolt's Monuments to Me podcast. I am a SA survivor, and I cannot be a part of a show that's supposed to uplift Black women while @Diddy leads the company. She even tagged him in the post. Believe Black women. She goes on to say, I'm grateful for how I was able to contribute to this show and work with my co-host, Akila. This was a wonderful opportunity brought to me by our producer, Darius, who saw that I needed to share more of my story and connect with the show's audience. This isn't a hard decision, and I'm okay. One thing I've done throughout my professional career is be mindful of my work ethic and where I place my energy and time. I also feel like Revolt's leadership not speaking on this says a lot, and even though this podcast experience has blessed me, I'm done. So even at the point when she left, which was just a few days ago, she stepped down from the company a week ago. It took Revolt an entire extra week before they even came back around to let people know that they were going to be moving forward without him, right? So this means that they had some hard decisions to make. Diddy had to come to the table and say, hey, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and just step down. We've built so much with this company. We got staff. We got payroll. I don't want to negatively affect you guys' lives. I want to keep y'all working. I don't want y'all to have to catch the windfall from this. So go ahead and wipe me out. I'll be fine. I'm going to fight this with all I can, but I'm in for a long ass battle and I don't want no more of my assets to be affected, right? Because other companies have been pulling out their association from him, right? We just had Diageo that came out and used his allegations as a way to get out of working with him on De Leon. Macy's and all these other companies come out and say they no longer carrying Sean John, even though he no longer is even a part of Sean John. He sold the company and said, we not carrying this shit no more because your name and likeness is on this shit. We're getting rid of it. We're not renewing the contract. One person that we know that's been waiting on this moment to happen, been waiting for the moment that Diddy actually gets outed and the public turns against him, is 50 mother effing Cent. He been waiting for this day for the last 10, 15 years. He been talking about this dude relentlessly. Every interview he does, he talks about how Diddy tried to take him shopping. He just posted the other day about the time they all performed. It was him, Jay-Z, Diddy, and T.I., and he was showing footage, Diddy patting Jay-Z on the ass on stage. He said, what the fuck is going on here? He talked about how he had footage of Cassie being abused. He said he knew people that had it. And this was years ago when he said it on the radio. People thought that he was bullshitting. They laughed about it. But he says, I saw the pictures of her sleeping with other men. He said, I don't think she did this on her own. I think Diddy enjoys watching what comes out many years later. You can say what you want, love or hate 50 Cent, but he's actually been telling people for a long time what was being hidden behind the scenes. So now 50 comes out and he offers to buy Revolt from Diddy. This nigga 50, look at it. I'll buy that from you, playboy, using his lingo for the low, because you know Cadillac and AT&T gonna pull out. I'll give you a few dollars for it now. Sell it to me, then we can be friends. I'm serious, call my phone, G-Unit Brands. I mean, this is a nigga that'll just drive a stake in your back, twist that bitch around, pour salt on the wound, then throw your ass in the swamp. 50 Cent is a rough nigga, man. Like, you don't want to get on his bad side, bro. He been waiting so long to do this to Diddy, to violate him like this. He's loving every second of it. First thing that comes to mind for me when Diddy steps down from Revolt, it reminds me eerily of the situation with Russell Simmons back in 2017. If y'all can remember, when them old allegations from around the time of 1991 came out, this lady who was like a writer, screenwriter, filmmaker, she came out and said that he violated her back in 1991. Russell Simmons came out and said, oh, I never met this woman. These people that are coming out, I don't know these people. I would never do nothing like that. But the first thing he did was step down from all his companies. He stepped down from All Dev Digital. He stepped down from his yoga company. Anything that he was associated with, he completely left. This nigga fled the country, moved to Bali or some shit, Indonesia, country where he can mess with all the young women he possibly want to. Long as his money spent, they gonna do what the fuck they want, right? Now we got this situation with Sean Combs. And what's the first move? I'm stepping down from my companies, y'all. I gotta go clean some shit up. I don't think he anticipated that people would turn on him so fast. I didn't think he had anticipated that so many stories would come out. I don't think he anticipated that the hush money and the NDAs that people probably had to sign would leak so fast. I don't bask in anyone's downfall. But if you did these things, if you did the shit that these people are accusing you of, you gotta go down, bro. You got to go in that can. You're gonna have to do about 20, 30 years or something, man. You're gonna have to give up your life earnings and shit. That $1 billion, nah, fam, that got to come down. All the niggas that you done took from. I was just watching a video last night of Fred from the band. Y'all remember Making the Band, right? For years, this dude has been going in on Diddy, and a lot of people have been writing off his story and his accounts and his experience because they're like, oh, you just a failed rapper. You know, you've been able to get away from Diddy. How come you can't have a career outside of him? Why you still talking about him? Why you still blame him for your lack of success? Well, Fred says, hey, I didn't have a problem with him. I didn't like him, right? Didn't like him. I didn't like how he treated us. He treated us like fucking slaves and children, right? Nobody really understands how much of a walk that is from Brooklyn to Harlem to get some fucking cheesecake and then go back to Harlem. On the same token, when Diddy came back just a couple years ago, when he was trying to do that Making of the Band reunion type thing, they wanted to get back on MTV, he said that he saw the contract and he saw that Diddy had already made over 40-something million off of the Making the Band show. And I think out of that 48 million, all the band members, him, Chopper, what's homegirl? Babs, Sarah, Ines, all of them, they had to split $500,000 amongst the entire group. So he's over here making $48 million off the show. They get $500,000 and then it's split between each member. They each walked away with damn near $100K and never made no more money. Never made no money off the album. Never made no money off the TV show. Never made no money off royalties, because there's still people out there that listen to that music. I don't know who, but somebody does. Then he also talked about how, you know, he's kind of been blackballed from the industry ever since. He's had other deals that he wanted to go get. He had other people that he wanted to work with, but soon as he would try to get things in motion, people would always pull back, right? Because it's like, damn, you come out and you diss Diddy. We know he fucked you over. Well, basically, if I'm co-signing you, then that clears out the opportunity of me ever working with Diddy, right? And for a lot of people, they like to keep that door open. Even if somebody as powerful as Diddy don't give no fucks who you are, don't know who you are, would never invest in your business, as long as y'all have never had a bad interaction, you always feel like, well, shit, any day now, he might want to invest in my company. I could do something great. Maybe we come to the table. Maybe we do a Ciroc partnership. Maybe a De Leon partnership. Maybe I go on Revolt to promote my business. Like, people really think like that. You know what I'm saying? And you can't really fault anybody for wanting to do that, because that's going to elevate their business, elevate their pockets, help them have further stability for their family and everybody that they're taking care of. But then Fred from the band, he ends up being collateral damage. I'm sure everyone else from the band has probably went through the same shit, because if you're not with Diddy, it's assumed you're against him. So you got to make it right with all these motherfuckers, man. You can't just go back and sign off on publishing that's no longer worth nothing 30 fucking years later, 20 years later, however long it is. Nah, out of that billion, that shit need to be dispersed, all right? He even talked about how the band's publishing, right? The publishing that they had for all that time that was just sitting that they didn't have access to. Diddy's mother owned it, right? Not just Diddy, but his mama was in on the publishing. So she's getting paid off them niggas' music, and they not. Same thing happened with Mace. Mace said Justin Combs' name was on his publishing. Why is he getting portions of my music when I'm writing this shit? I'm writing my verses, your verses. I'm giving you ideas, songs that I'm creating for my own album. You're taking and putting on your album. So now it becomes your song. I got to play the back for some shit that I create. And we ain't even talking about the sexual issues, right? The proclivities, the wrongdoings. That's just business shit. Like I say, if you did exactly what you did, you're going to have to burn. You have to pay for it. And that's what Fred said. He said he's going to die a lonely death. This is the words of Fred. He said he is going to die a lonely death. And he says when so many other people will be crying, he said he'll probably be laughing. And he said he doesn't understand when he became that cold-hearted person, but it came from him dealing with Diddy and just getting fucked over left, right, and everywhere in between throughout his whole entire career in music. And even though that Adult Survivors Act has now expired in New York, don't be surprised if over the next few months, more people don't come out and say what's been going on. Even if it's not going to benefit them financially, even if it's not going to benefit them as far as the legal system and civil cases and stuff, there's going to be more people that come out and just tell what happened to them, because they're going to want to clear their conscience. They're not going to feel that it's fair that other people got acknowledged and sympathy for what they went through, and that theirs never gets to be exposed. Nobody ever gets to come to their aid. More people are going to come out. I feel like this is a good place to end. Let me know what y'all think of all this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit the post notification bell for all updates. I pray that you be safe, man. Much love and respect. Peace.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rags. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef on computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. But drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they died of me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. Wanna catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.